You don't have to be on Cape Cod or in the Hamptons. You're gonna see how much is gonna come out of this. You'll be like, what? It's like a clown car. Okay. It's Cesar with the Food52 Test Kitchen, and this is Recipe Drop. And today I'm gonna show you how easy it is to make a weeknight seafood boil. Seafood boils are super customizable. Today I kind of went traditional New England. I've got lobster tails, little neck clams, shell-on shrimp, kielbasa, potatoes and corn, and of course, lots of butter to dip everything in. I have my water boiling, and I just filled my pot up about halfway. And what we want to do now is just make it really, really flavorful. Our star, the Old Bay. This is more of a New England inspired seafood boil, which is very different from like a Louisiana low country seafood boil. Types of seafoods in it are a little different. Also the way it's seasoned is different. Since I'm here in New York, I'm gonna do New England style. So I'm going in with some Old Bay seasoning. And this stuff is just like iconic. And to our liquid with our Old Bay, I'm gonna add a bunch of aromatics. So I have some herbs, just doing some rosemary and some thyme. I have a whole onion that I split. You could keep the skins on. Whole head of garlic, some bay leaves, good pinch of salt. Got a lemon. Just gonna split my lemon. Oops. Squeeze that in, just throw the whole thing in there. I'm gonna let this simmer for a few minutes, just really get everything infused into the water, and then we're gonna start throwing in our seafood. And my little touch, if you can find lemongrass, I really love the flavor of lemongrass in this. I think it goes so nicely with seafood. If you can't find it, no big deal, but I feel like this is getting easier and easier to find. You could just split them in half, and then with the back of your knife, you just wanna bruise it up, and it's just gonna release all those oils and all right, I'm gonna cover this up. I'm gonna let it simmer for like 5 minutes, and then we're gonna go in with our seafood. So it's been a few minutes, and I'm up to a boil. Oh, this smells so good. So for today's seafood boil, this is so customizable. You can really do whatever you want. It's all about the timing. I'm not reinventing the wheel here by any means, but I just wanna show you how easy this is to do at home. You could do this on a weeknight. It doesn't have to be this big lift. You don't have to be on Cape Cod or in the Hamptons. So for today's seafood boil, I have little baby potatoes. You don't have to go this small. You could use a regular baby potato or any waxy potato. I have corn on the cob. I have kielbasa. You could do any smoked sausage. You could do andouille. You could do chorizo. I live next to a lot of Polish butchers, and I get really nice kielbasa from them. And I also have some lobster tails. These are on the smaller side. You could go as big as you like, but I like to get the smaller lobster tails. And I have some shell-on shrimp. And I have some little neck clams that I just let sit overnight in salt water, just so they could like expel any grit that they may still have. So I'm gonna give these a rinse. Typically, I would throw in the kielbasa and the potatoes at the same time. I would start with those. Since these potatoes are so tiny, I'm actually gonna go in with them a little later, but keep that in mind. If your potatoes are bigger, you can keep them whole or you can cut them in half, and this will be the first thing that you start along with your kielbasa or any smoked sausage. After my sausage go in, I'm gonna set a timer for 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna go in with my next round of stuff. So covering it up, 5-minute timer. Cool, see you in 5 minutes. Next, I'm gonna go in with my potatoes. Since they're so small, I'm going in with them now. But if they were larger, I would have gone in with them at the beginning with the sausage. For our corn, cut these into like manageable pieces. Corn in, potatoes in. Give it another little stir. Cover it up. Another 5-minute timer. Let's start prepping the rest of our stuff. Our clams, give them another rinse. Remember, all of your clams should be tightly shut. If any, see, like this one's cracked. Sucks. It's shut, but it's cracked. I don't want to risk it. I'm gonna throw it away. It's sad, I know. But better safe than sorry with stuff like this. But you see everything else is super tightly shut. And if after cooking any of them don't open, you also have to chuck them. So whenever you buy clams, you're always gonna have to throw a few away. It's just reality. I've never bought clams and kept all of them. You know, just to set the expectation. Let's talk about our lobster tails. So I have some small lobster tails, fairly small, with a pair of kitchen shears or scissors that you use specifically for the kitchen. I just like to go under the shell and just split that. And then after we cook it, I'm gonna split it again so that everyone can have some lobster tail. All right, for the shrimp, I like to keep the shell on when I do shrimp in a shrimp boil. Some people get weird about the vein because you're obviously not cleaning it, so that little vein with the poop, you can't really get it. But here's a trick. With a toothpick, you take the shrimp, and then like the back part, you're gonna take your little toothpick or needle, whatever, and in between the creases of the shell, you can go in. You don't wanna go too deep, and then you can pull out. And if there was an icky little vein in there, it would just come right out. You could just pull it right out. Like I said, I was doing it earlier with these, and these were remarkably clean. There were a few gnarly ones, but yeah. That's how you clean shrimp with the shell on. Now, I'm gonna go in with our clams and our lobster. So as you can see, I don't have a crazy big pot. I'm not feeding a whole town. This comfortably feeds like 4 to 6 people. Now I'm gonna go in with my lobster tails. And I like to just like nestle them in there. Okay, lid back on, 5 minutes. Now for this last round of heat, let's talk about butter. All this seafood, you obviously need to dip it in some butter. I have my little dance butter warmer. I've got some nice butter in here. You want salted butter, you want nice butter. I like European butter. I'm going in with more of the herbs that I have in the boil. I'm also gonna go in with some garlic. You want that garlic butter. For the garlic, you're gonna grate it in. All right, let's melt our butter. Keep an eye on it. All right, another 5 minutes has passed since my lobster tails went in. It's time for the shrimp. Make sure everything's submerged. I told you it was gonna fit. I told you to not overcook my shrimp and to not overcook my lobster. I'm going to kill the heat. Lid back on, don't peek, don't look at it. The shrimp are gonna cook perfectly and the lobster is gonna finish cooking perfectly with that residual heat. All right, it's time. And everything fit perfectly in our Dansk 7-quart copper stock pot. You're gonna see how much is gonna come out of this. You'll be like, what? It's like a clown car, okay. I'm gonna start with the lobster tails. I'm gonna place them on the board because I'm gonna split them just so that everybody has some lobster tail. You guys aren't fighting over lobster tail. Let's start fishing this out. No pun intended. What I like to do too, as everything is coming out, everything cooked perfectly. The clams are all opened. Our shrimp are tender. Nice. I like to give everything a little extra Old Bay love. Fish that lemongrass out. Any stems that may have snuck through. This is open. This is open. This one didn't really open, so bye-bye. So I'm just gonna split them. Nice, beautiful. The reason I didn't split the lobster tails completely before cooking, I just feel like they cook nicer when they're still intact. Prevents overcooking. I don't know if the limit exists with Old Bay. I even like to serve this on the side as well. Cut up some lemon wedges. I have a little paper down in the back. Let's share this with some people. Eat up.
Presenting.
No,
We're like doing a donut.
dip
We're
it.
just gonna, okay.
We're dipping.
That's so good. The rosemary and the butter is fire too.
How do you say it?
How are you supposed to?
Is it good? Is it?
Shrimp are so good.
Is it Kiernan approved?
Canon approved.
I've got Kiernan's approval. This was Recipe Drop. Comment, like, subscribe. Recipe down below. See you later. Bye.